Hello, everybody, and welcome to That Real Texas Team podcast, episode 40, here on the channel. My name is Curtis Brown. I'm the host of this channel, as well as this AFC South show over on Curtis's podcast network. With me, as always, my resident co-hosts at your top right, Mike from Mass 3 Productions. You can go check him out on YouTube. Subscribe to his content on there. Hit the notification bell so when he drops new stuff, you can, view and appreciate. Down here at your bottom, we got Pac-Man Freestyle, aka Chris, aka Slim Chickens. Um, you can find him at That's Crazy Podcast Talk, and over there at his channel, hit a like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you don't miss any of his content. Do the same thing here while you're at it. We're at 219 subscribers at the time of this recording. We are catching up to Third and Teal, people. They're at 266.
Oh, let's get them.
Let's catch up to those glitter kitties. Huge win today, 41-21 over the lowly Patriots. So we're going to be getting all into that. Let's lead off today with some injuries. Aziz got hurt, and I believe he came back, at least, when I was watching on my ESPN Fantasy app later in the game. I did see his name come by a couple different times to say that it made a tackle. So he got hurt. He did not return. So we'll get into that a little bit as far as like how Blake Fisher did. But first, gentlemen, how are y'all doing?
I am doing awesome.
Hell yeah.
Texans did exactly what I said, and I called it. I said we're going to see some Davis Mills on Sunday.
Yep.
Thank you, Davis. Thank you, Davis.
Hell yeah.
Davis been coming through since the end of 2022. If you don't realize, end of 22, Davis been coming in the clutch.
Yep.
Winning games, you don't need the win, but apparently he needed to win them, so he's coming in the clutch. So congratulations, Davis. I'm glad you are back up. Thank you, Davis.
This is going to be a Thank You, Davis Mills Appreciation podcast. No. Look, so Aziz or Tom, which injury do you think hurts the most if they're not available going forward?
Aziz.
Yeah.
It's not even really a question. Aziz.
Okay.
If not, don't what they call him, the tackling machine?
Yeah.
Neville Hewitt.
Oh, Neville Hewitt. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Neville. Neville's a defensive lineman playing linebacker. He's huge. Big old dude. But he's not Aziz.
No.
Aziz is quarterback in this defense. And don't get me wrong, Henry Toa, he did his job when Aziz wasn't out there. He held it down. But if anybody in the Houston major metropolitan area has faith in Henry being our middle linebacker going forward, I need what you're smoking. I need it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So it's definitely Aziz. Laramie, he is who he is. I love the guy. He's a dog. He's a guy I want out there. But Blake Fisher didn't do that bad once he was in the game.
It's true. That's why we drafted him.
Yep. Swing tackle.
Yep. Okay.
And I don't think he's had a penalty yet either. We were speaking about that earlier. And he's played enough snaps to where, he's had some mistakes, and I haven't, really seen enough of him. But like I said, you don't really see a difference while he's in there. Mixon still made him. Mixon made him look good also. And even if I'm gonna be honest, even if Tunzel was playing like great, it would be Al-Shaair. It's not even close. Like, it's not even close. That man, he is all over the field. I know he has some missed tackles here and there, but for the most part, when you see some of the other stuff he does, you can let some of those missed tackles go because he normally doesn't miss them.
Yeah. That's fair.
Oh, and I got to say, when Aziz came back, we finally saw our base 4-3. There was a play I saw Aziz, Toa, and Neville Hewitt on the field at the same time. I haven't seen three linebackers on the field all year long.
They must have really been giving us a lot of like 2 tight end packages or something.
They did with what's his name? Hooper and Hunter. Is that
Yep.
his name?
Austin
Yeah.
Hooper and Hunter Henry.
Yeah. When the two of them were out there, and they were out there most of the plays. So I'm okay.
Makes sense. All right. Well, look, let's go ahead and get into some fun stuff. Let's get into risers and fallers for week 6 against the Patriots. Let's start off with the fallers because, let's get the negative out of the way first. And it's a short list. That's
Dalton what happened. Blowout win.
Yeah. Dalton Schultz is the only faller this week. 8 targets, 4 receptions, 20 yards, and an interception that should be credited to him. But instead, it goes on CJ's ledger and makes it look like he had random. I can't remember how to put it. Yeah, but not going right off of Dalton Schultz. Definitely one of those he should. And that would have been like his first touchdown of the season. Probably. Yeah. I don't remember him scoring any other time, so that's what I just the drop off from Dalton Schultz last year to Dalton Schultz this year is so tremendous. It really makes me question why we paid him all the money we did, especially considering he's not been great in run blocking either.
I have to be. Was I the only person that got mad as? Mad as shit. I'm going to use the word I want to use. Mad as shit when he tried to stick one hand up to catch the ball.
Yeah.
It was a perfect pass. TJ didn't lead him too far. He didn't underthrow him. Just Dalton stuck up one damn hand.
Passes that I saw him make multiple times, catches that I seen him make multiple times last year. Exactly like that with 2 hands. I agree with you. I saw him make catches like that with 1 hand.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is, but hopefully he can get that ship righted, kind of like the next 2 people on this risers list came in and absolutely corrected the running game. Joe Mixon obviously had one of the better games of any running back this season, and Dameon Pierce coming off the bench in relief effort. Both of these guys we haven't seen them in multiple weeks. Dameon Pierce we haven't seen since week 1, and Joe Mixon we haven't seen since the hip drop tackle against the Bears on Sunday Night Football week 2. 21 attempts between the 2 of them. 178 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it every day.
Yeah, all day.
Oh, it felt so good to see, like we talked about before we got on here. I felt vindicated in what I was saying. The Texans need somebody that's going to run north-south. That east to west stuff, trying to make guys miss in the backfield. Yeah, I get that they're back there, but if you run full speed, a lot of times is what Joe Mixon and Pierce showed. If you run straight, you run past them.
Yeah. At the moment, Pierce got the pitch on that 54-yard touchdown run that he had.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him make that firm 1 foot in the ground cut and then just straight up the field. I was like, he's gone. And that was like as he's like weaving through traffic. And then the next thing you know, he's clear on the other side of everything, and there's one guy giving chase. Now, he probably was out of bounds, but I'm glad that they just let him keep his touchdown.
That was one of those too close to. I didn't think they were going to overturn it because I agree it could have went either way at that point, and it was just so close. I mean,
it was the same thing as Coleman last week.
Yep,
same exact thing. Did his heel come down or did his heel not?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're not wrong at all. Maybe the NFL saw that Coleman catch and was just like, maybe we give him one this weekend.
Yeah. Dameon earned it. It was good to see him hit the end zone again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the smile on his face after it?
I bet he was grinning ear to ear.
Yeah. Him and Joe Mixon both sitting over there smiling.
Lots to smile about for both of them. I mean, hell, Joe Mixon only had 13 carries for 102 yards.
That's even better than week 1. Way better.
Yeah, he had 30 for 159 week 1.
And they said Joe Mixon can catch. I
Yeah.
believe him. I definitely believe him.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a skilled pass catcher. I mean, I feel like what he's doing in Cincinnati for years. And look, I didn't know what we were going to get out of Mixon when he got here. I thought maybe we could, if he got like a, Damian Pierce level season from like 2022, that would be, satisfactory. And we'd all be like, all right, good deal. Handshaking, kissing babies and such. And then he got out there that first game against the Colts and was just running over people. And I was like, oh shit, he's faster, Damian Pierce. He's bigger, faster, Damian Pierce.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And he's got the catching ability, so that's hype. Someone else whose catching ability had been questioned a little bit, his ability to get targets questioned a little bit, that being Tank Dell, finds himself on the rising side of this list for the first time this season. Thank God, because it's about damn time that Tank Dell started doing something. Just sucks that it took Nico Collins being out of the game for him to have 7 catches.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's on CJ. CJ's got to remember that who Tank Dell is. Because I saw Tank running a lot of the same routes he did when Nico was out there. But just for some reason, CJ said, you know what? I'm going to throw the Tank and I'm going to keep him safe.
Yeah.
His first 4 throws were all ones to where they hit Tank as he's getting down before somebody gets to blow him up.
Yep.
Dude, 160 pounds soaking wet. I don't blame him.
Yeah, but anybody that saw him from school and what he did last year, it doesn't matter how big. Tank breaks tackles. Yeah. He actually breaks tackles.
Oh, no, I agree. I'm just, and I mean, and Tank is obviously a tough kid. I mean, he's been through a lot, and he went through an injury last year. Lord Jesus, he had a bullet go through him. It's just so like he's a tough kid, regardless of where you had a bullet go through you. I don't care. Just think about how he might be mentally. I was, earlier, I was talking about because I agree with the fact that Tank looked better without Nico, and I want to see another week of Tank. He's personally not on my risers because I expect him to do that. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I expect him to do that, and I also don't think his previous weeks were all his fault. He did have some drops, but that jet sweep. I don't even think I saw that play not one time.
Nope.
They didn't run that play not one time. I can't stand that play. That jet sweep, it bothers me, and it's not his fault. That's just that play is ignorant. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work for us. In him running that play, I honestly, if you want me to be honest, I think that's a better play. Either set up for either Stephon or Nico,
or even Hutch.
That's just how I feel, especially Nico, just because Nico's big and extremely fast for some reason. So like I think that's a great play for him. But Tank, I know he's extremely fast. Obviously, I know he's extremely fast, but it just does not seem like that play works. And also, when you get out there, he's a lot smaller. Yeah, he does break tackles, but he's a lot smaller. So if he does get hit, you can just knock him over, as opposed to if you hit Nico or if you hit Stephon, they'll have a little more of a little feel to them. But yeah. I have no problem with him like being a riser because I do agree he rose from the previous weeks, but he did not show me anything that I didn't think he could already do.
Well, just even bring that up, I just thought about something. I'm still not happy with Slowick.
No,
he didn't. CJ played a good game. CJ did what was supposed to be done to him, but I don't know if I missed it because I watched the whole game. Didn't doze off, stayed away. I didn't see any Mechie or Xavier Hutchins. I didn't see one of them touch the ball.
A lot of not touching the ball, a lot of blocking. It was a lot of blocking. a lot of blocking. Hutch had a really good block. I don't remember who it was for, but he had a really good block late in the game for someone.
And that's fine. But the thing is, Tank didn't get the rest of Nico's targets. Neither did Stephon. Their targets just dissolved.
Yeah.
Nobody really replaced Nico. Tank did what Tank should have been doing all year long. He got the targets he should have been getting all year. So did Stephon. But Nico's targets didn't go anywhere. Maybe Joe Mixon picked up a couple of them.
I think he did, but I think realistically, the game script for today was definitely going to be more run the ball than throw the ball anyway. And I think that's where a lot of those dissolved to this week. At no point, to me at least, was this game like actually in jeopardy. And I feel like the Texans coaching staff probably felt the same way, even though they allowed that touchdown right before halftime. And it was like, what, 14-7?
I was a little worried. Yeah.
Oh, no, that was the only time during the game that I was worried. After halftime, whatever D'Amico said to them at halftime to have that defense fired up at the beginning after halftime, I wasn't worried no more because they just started getting takeaways, things that we haven't been doing this year. You get a take. That was the first takeaway in 3 games, I think. Like the first actual takeaway.
I really think Nico had a conversation with Stingley because how he got burnt right before halftime.
Yeah,
I ain't see that no more during the game at all. He was in receivers' pockets for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
I agree. I thought, like I said, I do believe he got burnt. That was really a bold play call, even going at Stingley. I understand he got burnt, but that was a really bold play call.
Yeah,
but
because they try to stay away from him.
Every week, somebody's testing him like that. So somewhere in the game film, they're seeing something where they believe Stingley can be beat. Because every week, that's the route that they try to beat him on as a go route.
Yeah. I think it's because usually they don't roll a lot of safety help over to help him. So most of the time, it's still just one-on-one, and maybe teams don't look at him the way that they used to look at Darrelle Revis, like prime Darrelle Revis. And that's fine. He may not be that kind of player, but he's damn good.
He's got a
great cover corner. Great cover corner. I really, and I'm going to be completely honest, and as bad as it sounds, but I questioned even before we drafted him. I knew we were going to draft him, and I questioned us drafting him because he had an injury history before we even drafted him. So I was questioning that to begin with. And then he came in and he had a couple of injuries. And I feel like last year he played a good full season. Especially the second half of the season, he was really good. And I feel like when he came back at the end of the season before that, he was doing all right. But it was to the point to where I was feeling like, okay, so like I see Petrie. I understand that Petrie's not a corner, but I'm just using that as an example. I felt like at the time they were both rookies. Petrie looked great as a rookie. Now he made a bunch of mistakes, of course. You make rookie mistakes. I get it. But as far as what I saw from him and what I was seeing from Stingley, I honestly believe that I don't think Stingley, when he first came in, I don't think he was completely healthy, if that makes sense. Yeah. I don't think when we first drafted him that he was completely healthy, I
actually think this might be the first year that he's been healthy, like actually healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that might have caused the issue for him.
Well, let me ask both of y'all guys. Is there still an argument of who's better between him and Sauce? Has anybody definitively stood out to say, yeah, Sauce is better, or yeah, Stingley's better?
No, I think you still give the edge to Sauce at the moment, just because he's got the hardware and everything else. But I think another season of Stingley kind of like like, this being an outlier game, another season of just solid, great cornerback one output from him, I think you can make that a kind of even, because Sauce has looked human this year.
Yeah. That and the fact he's
And
not
I don't think that's his fault though. I think him looking here, I don't think that's his fault. The thing about Sauce, what I've noticed about him, see, he is also an extremely great cover corner. He's not going to get interceptions. That's not what he's out there to do. He's a great cover corner and somebody that you don't want to test on that side. I think that that building is honestly in his head. I think it's more of a team thing. Not saying, of course, yes, he's looked human, but when the team is not flowing correctly and you have things going on in the building, like an Aaron Rodgers that swears he doesn't know what's going on around there, I feel like that can get into your head. I don't care.
The thing that I look at it, because I watched both of them from college, being that Sauce went to Cincinnati, which was an American conference with U of H. I saw a lot of Sauce.
Yeah.
Sauce is not a man corner. He's a cover two corner. And Stingley is a man corner. I think that's part of the real reason why the Texans drafted him over. Because Lovey, you know how he likes to run his defense, he likes to be able to man one of his two corners. That was the idea with Stingley. When they drafted him, you remember what they asked him? Are you ready to follow around number one receivers for the Houston Texans?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Sauce is not a man corner. That's why he's getting exposed. Because Robert Saleh that they just fired, same sort of defense that the Texans run, which is a little bit of man corner. That's not Sauce's strength.
Yeah.
Cover two, he can break off the ball because he didn't. One of the big differences between him and Stingley is Stingley had that 4.3 speed. Sauce didn't have that. He's slightly slower, but he's taller and rangy. He's closer to what Kalen Bullock is. He's really tall.
Yeah.
That was what was real. And I was thinking that too. He's really long. That was what made, in my opinion, why I can't think of his name. With the dreads, I can't think of his name.
Sure. Same thing.
There you go. I could not think of his name, and it bothers me. But exactly what I'm saying. Like, what Richard Sherman, like 6'3", incredible. Just the way that's who Sauce reminds me of. Except I think that Richard Sherman obviously is a better player, a Super Bowl champion. Played with the Legion of Boom.
And he's slower. Richard Sherman is slow as dirt.
Yeah,
always has been.
Yeah, but he didn't have to be fast. He was long because I always remember cornerbacks, and I mean, it might be a little different now, but cornerbacks, they're never as big as receivers. Cornerbacks, sometimes they're really little. So Richard Sherman was like an anomaly.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible. I know we're off subject. Where are we at? Because I know we still got to get.
We're still doing risers and fallers right now.
I got my riser. I mean, my actual riser, who I was very proud about seeing today, even though I might not ever see it again from him. But first of all, it's the entire defense. But my personal favorite today was Eric Murray. Everybody else did what they were supposed to do. You were playing a rookie quarterback. Ain't no reason y'all shouldn't be able to get to him with that bad offensive line. Of course, Will Anderson was great. Of course, Daniil Hunter was great. Everybody was great. I don't mean that, but Eric Murray, even though he had that one bad pass interference play, I thought that otherwise that he played a very well game, and not even just the interception. I thought that he played a very well game. And I thought that he should have been mad whenever they called their stupid illegal hands to the face that they called against him.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get into that one because he's on my risers list as well with the one-handed pick. And, I feel like all offseason, anybody on this show had been just kind of like, why is Eric Murray still here?
Yep.
And I think most Texans fans kind of feel that way. Well, it's games like this where Jimmy Ward's unavailable and you're playing a lowly team where Eric Murray comes in and is able to be like, hey, y'all, I remember playing football and being pretty good at it. I'm going to go up here and snag this interception real quick. Hold my dick.
Yeah. We all keep it a lot of these guys, Eric Murray was probably the best player in his state at one point.
Yeah.
Was one of the best players at his college. All of these guys were all state. All conference. These guys, we forget that. Because if you're making it to the NFL, you had to be the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And they pay him to play football just like they do to other guys.
Yep. Phenomenal game for Murray. If you haven't seen the interception, I suggest you all go peep that one-handed kick. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Another riser for us was the offensive line play. As we mentioned at the top, Tunsil got hurt, and there wasn't a drop off at all when Blake Fisher came in. So that's one hell of a draft pick. That's one hell of a game plan by the offense. Keeping CJ Stroud as clean as possible is always the goal, and today they fucking nailed that. So hats off to them for that, and for over 192 rushing yards as a team.
I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah. When you throw in CJ and everybody else who touched the ball, Dare, and Cam Akers, 192.
I'm loving watching CJ. I'm glad he's not like just going out there and running, but I'm loving his escapability that he's showing this season, which is something that he says that he watches his old that Ohio State and Georgia game. I know they lost, but he says he goes back and watches that because literally he never had to do that. CJ, the whole time he played at Ohio State, you know what CJ got to do? CJ got to sit in the pocket, make a couple of phone calls, holler at a few girls, and he might not even have to pass the ball. He could have just waited for a little bit, just anything. And then the Georgia game, you saw that because people wondered about that. And you saw that in the Georgia game. You saw it a little bit here and there last year, but not really too much. But this year, especially with Nico and their chemistry and him rolling out, it's incredible. Go ahead.
One of the things I would say is, normally when you watch rookie quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, you can compare some of their game of things that they did in college. CJ is one of those quarterbacks that you can't really compare shit. When he was in college, they said, "Oh, he didn't deal with pressured pockets very well." When he got into the NFL, his rookie year, he was one of the best quarterbacks under pressure in the NFL.
I think he was the best.
Yeah, that's my point.
It might have been number 2 behind Purdy. Because
all the things they said he didn't do well, he flipped it. Oh, he's unathletic. Bullshit. If that's unathletic, I want to be that unathletic.
I think the big knock on him for that pressure thing was not necessarily that he wasn't able to throw in those situations or read the field in those situations. So usually in games where he's got, I can't remember what the stat was, but usually it's games where he's been sacked 4 times or more that he loses. He's like 2-8 in those games.
That's a pretty hard thing to overcome.
It is, but that was going into this season. Well, the first 2 games of the year, he was sacked 4 times. We were 2-0.
We talked a lot of mess about him and all the traveling he was doing with Micah and all the promotional stuff. We just assumed that this man wasn't studying his craft like he needed to during the offseason.
Well, I think that was also Amber Rose kind of creeping.
Oh, that was bad. Yeah.
I was like, why are you taking this girl home? Don't do it, bud.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Nope. It was literally he was giving her a ride. It was nothing else.
Everybody was talking about that, and they're like, she's gonna break him and blah blah blah. He's gonna
suck with.
I was like,
nah, be a Kardashian.
I was like, look, if there's anything about to happen out of these two, CJ's about to make her convert to being full-time Christian. She's going to have Bible studies on Sunday, and she's going to be like the most morally upstanding person. Like, obviously that it turned out to be he was just being a good guy in a taxi, but either way, glad he dodged that. Oh man. And then the final riser for me, and Chris, you already talked about it, the entire defense. You're playing a rookie quarterback. You're playing a team who doesn't have their lead running back. So, I mean, it's not like the deck was stacked against you at any point, but the defense made this game not close at any point. It seemed like there was just nothing that the Patriots could do to really get that margin closer than 2 scores after halftime. Anytime that there was even a glimmer of hope, the defense would come in and shut it down. Will Anderson had 4 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. Yeah. Yeah.
Daniil had a sack, right?
He had a sack. We had 4 sacks of Drake May, and 8 tackles for loss.
And like I said, when you look at the score down here below me right here, this way right here, down there, that's not anybody was watching the game. The game wasn't even that close.
No. I mean, realistically, that game, they shouldn't have had that many points. But
interception in the end zone on Dalton Schultz. That was another touchdown that was left off. The missed Kaimi field goal technically should have been a field goal. A couple of other times we punted. We talked about already. The Dalton Schultz tried a one-hand catch when he was wide open. They missed. They scored 41 points, missing on so much today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not even just that. The defense caused 4 turnovers today. A sack fumble. I believe they stripped one of the running backs. And then 2 interceptions of Drake May. Eric Murray and Kalen Bullock gets his 2nd interception on the season. Kalen Bullock is looking like the steal of this draft class. Is there anybody else from this year's draft class, in at least as far as Houston is concerned, that we could say is probably a big steal like Kalen was?
Maybe Blake Fisher. Maybe Blake.
I honestly think you could say the same thing about last year.
Yeah.
Our first 3 picks are fucking damn good. Like, a lot better than I anticipated, at least on the jump, because Kalen came in light. I think he was like 188 pounds at 6'3", and he's going to be playing safety, bro?
Yeah. It's like, you sure that's not a receiver?
Yeah. And, he's an athlete, and he didn't even turn 21 until like 2 weeks after the draft. So, I mean, dude is young.
I knew he was young, but I didn't know he was that young.
Yeah. So, I mean, the upside for this defense is so freaking high. If they can just, I don't know. I mean, I know Lassiter's supposed to be missing a couple weeks.
I hope not.
They're saying whatever injury he's got is something that's going to take a little bit, but
where are we at with Jeff Okudah?
Don't know how he's on the team.
But at this point, I'm not. D'Angelo Ross is good against the New England Patriots and their unnamed receivers.
Yeah.
Jordan Love went off today.
Yep. Had a real clean game. He had 1 pick that was really bad, but I mean, other than that,
he did. Jordan Love.
He's having one of those every game.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a young quarterback. We've got time or whatever. But
we got to get somebody else on the other side.
Yeah. Yep. So Drake May's final stat line looks like this: 243 yards, 209 after you take out the sack yardage. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 5 carries, 38 yards, and a fumble. The team allowed a total of 82 rushing yards.
And Drake May has a bulk of it.
Yeah. So Drake May was the leading rusher, and then Antonio had the most carries at 13 for 19 yards. Suffocating defense is the only way you can really describe the run game. For stretches at a time, the passing game was suffocating on defense. The team doesn't necessarily feel like it's clicked all the way yet, but it seems like every game we're getting a little, like a half step closer to clicking on both sides of the ball. And I cannot wait until that happens. It may not be something that happens until we get full strength, but I cannot wait to see what this team looks like when everything is going 100 miles an hour.
I'm excited to see it. I really am. And like I said, after you just told me the stat line, I was already sort of feeling it. I think we got to say New England, congratulations. Y'all might have found y'all a quarterback. Because I'm be honest, watching him from North Carolina and seeing what he is, I didn't think he was tough enough to be this guy. But the way he got beat around today, and he stayed in the game. He was out there the whole time. And knowing that he still threw for 240, ran for a few, that's one of the things that is underrated was how athletic he actually is.
Yep.
He looked pretty good to be with a trash-ass offensive coordinator, a horrible offensive line, and no running game.
Yeah. He looks solid. Hopefully
did what's his name even play? I feel like I didn't even see what's the guy that's been fumbling the ball? Was Stevenson?
No, he was out.
Yeah, he was out today.
Oh, he was out. Okay, I didn't catch that. It's been a long week, so I didn't catch that part. It's probably worked out better for him. He probably would have fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he did an okay job. But this Texans defense is top tier. Your head coach, this is his specialty. His thing is coaching up linebackers. And Aziz already knew him. Henry is looking like he's accepting of who this guy is. And we still haven't seen Christian Harris. I actually think we probably won't see Christian Harris for a while. That's depressing in itself, but
yeah, got a couple 3 weeks. I feel like we may not see him until November, but whenever he gets here, I'm so glad he's here.
Yeah,
he's going to be a difference maker for this defense. So as we were talking about, next week is against the Packers. It is at Lambeau. So if there was a time to call upon J.J. Watt to come in and finally get a win against his home state, now would be the time.
The J.J. Watt dreams, I can now say they're probably dead.
They are. But if they wanted to be, come on, J.J. Like if D'Amico was like, come on, I wouldn't be upset about it. I don't think J.J.
Let's sign a one-game contract.
Yeah, for real.
Make the fan. But I would think if they were going to do something like that, they'd definitely do it for a home game.
You would think, but it would be a home game for JJ. I mean, that's when he left, that's what he was upset about, is like he wasn't going to be able to go play in Green Bay for like 8 years or some shit.
Yeah, because Arizona never was going to play.
Yeah, I don't think they played him. I don't think they played him at all. Or they played the Packers, but like they came to Arizona. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Anyway, do you guys have any closing comments before we wrap episode 40 up?
This fan over here. If I would say anything, let's all hope and pray for good health for Aziz and Laramie. I don't want to have to choose between the two. Can I get both of them back?
That would be nice.
Just get both of them back. And Joe, if you're going to do limited all week in practice, do limited all week in practice. Don't push the ankle. We need you. Damien, watch them hamstrings. That's a re-injury thing.
Yep. Ice bath, baby.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Ice bath. The fuck out of that. All right.
Bobby, work on. You got to give us a better offensive game plan than you did today. Don't get me wrong. I loved all the running. I loved how it was working. I loved how it's going to go. But we're going to need CJ to slang that peel against Green Bay.
Damn Skippy. Well, I think this is a good spot to wrap it up. So, folks, thank you for watching this evening. If you're a Texans fan, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. We're at 219 at the time of this recording. Head on over to That's Crazy Podcast and Talk and support our main man, Chris, on his podcast adventure. Support by like and subscribing. And then you can head on over to Mass 3 Productions and help Mike out. Hit the like, subscribe button, notification bells on all 3 channels so that we can grow. And every time we post something, you don't miss it. With that being said, folks, be good people and go Texans.
Go Texans.
Go Texans.